And wherever you want to talk sports.
Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo, man. How the heck are you? Thursday, November 18th, 2021. Just 3 shows left for November. A week from now, I'll be asleep because it's only 2:25 in the morning.
Go.
In Hawaii.
Go.
I will be sleeping. I will be drinking Mai Tais and pina coladas. I will have tan lines. And I'll be in Hawaii and you won't. So there you go. Hey, Jake, how are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
What are you most looking forward to about vacation?
Not working. Not thinking about work. Not thinking about anything but the beach and drinking and having a nice time.
The hose?
The hose.
There you go. Real quick, your number one drink in Hawaii?
I don't know. A Mai Tai?
Mine's by far a pina colada. I'm a huge pineapple coconut fan.
Okay.
Huge. I know you're probably not.
I mean, I'm not a huge coconut fan. I love pineapple.
Yeah, I'm here for all of it. I am absolutely positively here for all of the Hawaiian drinks. A pina colada in a pineapple shell, please. Just bring them repeatedly. Take my credit card and my money.
I mean, there was a lot of talk on Twitter yesterday about us doing a show from the beach. People want us to do a show from the beach. So, I mean,
I think we may be doing that.
2 a.m. on the beach. What do you guys think? Make it in time for the show?
Oh, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. But I think we'll probably do some Twitter live, some Insta live. We'll do some stuff live.
And stuff.
Yeah. We'll have to do some pool party stuff live.
Yeah.
We'll do all that. We'll have some fun with it. Well, Jake's lazy, so he won't be creating any content around that. But,
Right.
Facts. You're lazy, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Is that what we've decided?
Yep.
We are going to debate the best fast food sandwich because today is a major milestone in the history of fast food. We'll get to that. We got to talk about one particular, swole weightlifting, steroid-using wrestler that believes he should be the next James Bond. But first, let's talk BYU football at Georgia Southern. The Eagles?
The Eagles. Eagles, fly.
The Eagles of Georgia Southern. And BYU this weekend in what can only be called a tune-up for SC. By the way, did you see that Jackson Dart is going to start for USC against UCLA? But BYU is going to Georgia Southern to prove a point. Or are they? Because there is this debate, and we had this debate 2 weeks ago, as BYU coasted to a victory. And in one person's opinion, that'd be me, left an opportunity on the table by only scoring 59 points. So, Jake, the question is BYU too nice?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they didn't handle their business, and I think they could probably be 12th or 11th right now if they had put a whooping down before. So I think this game, it just serves as an example of, put up 65, put up 70. Hell, if you're in a position, put up 80. Crush them, don't stop. And I think that we're seeing that, yes, style points matter. We did a whole segment last week on the show about how style points absolutely matter to the committee. It's a group of people sitting around a table looking at schedules on a massive TV and talking about this and talking about that, and is that a quality loss? Is that a quality win? All these different things. And so, yeah, is BYU too nice? Absolutely, they're too nice. I mean, I don't understand why you wouldn't rack it up against Idaho State. So, at the end of the day, I just hope that they learn their lesson. And that's something that I'll be looking for. I don't want to hear from McChesney or any of the third, fourth, fifth stringers on this team. I don't want to hear from them. It's not your time. That was week 1 and week 2. We're well past that now. So I just think you got to come out and roll this team.
Yeah, and I think the one thing that we all get caught up in, and I think we're I'm as guilty as anybody about this, is I just want to win football games, and I want to win them convincingly. But why was BYU not taking it easy against Oregon, at the Moda Center the other night?
Mm-hmm.
Why was that cool to beat a team by 40? But we can't do that. It's Georgia Southern.
Yeah, not in football. We can't do that in football.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
What are we here to be nice, or are we here to win games? And I know a lot of BYU fans got really upset when I said that, but my belief is BYU has everything to play for here. BYU football has everything to prove to the NCAA College Football Playoff Committee. And if we've learned anything over the first 2 weeks of this poll in these rankings, it's that performances and impressions matter. And it matters little what you've done on your schedule. You're 14th in the college football playoff rankings, and you have an opportunity to be much higher than that. You have a chance, in my opinion, in the next 3 weeks to end up as the 10th team in the country. I think if everything broke perfectly, I think your highest best place is 10th in the rankings.
Yeah.
But the only way you get there is by dominating Georgia Southern and sending a true message, and that is, hey, I would love to see a 70-0 win over Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
I would love to see no concern for Georgia Southern, all concern for the BYU Cougars getting into the New Year's Six Bowl. And they're in position to do that, but I don't know that Kalani Sitake's willing to, put his foot on the neck of Georgia Southern, Jake, and I think it's a huge problem in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people say, oh, well, that's because BYU has morals and standards and the honor code and this and that and the other. And I think it comes down to not the honor code, but just, I think the way Kalani runs the program, it's very, there's a lot of respect and sportsmanship and playing the game the right way, which I appreciate. I think, a lot of programs out there are not like that. But in these cases, when you're trying to accomplish things and do big things in your sport, there are times when you're asked to do things that maybe you wouldn't otherwise do, like put up 70 on Georgia Southern and Idaho State. And so I just think that this is not a difficult concept. This is not something that needs to be, questioned. This is something that they absolutely should do. And if they don't do it, let's say that they put up 50 and they allow 20, I just think that that's not quite good enough. I think you need to be higher than that. So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, this is a great program. This is a great football team. They're doing great things. However, there's more room. There's more room to get better, to go farther. And when you get into the Big 12, you better be ready because, again, you're not going to be playing some cupcake schedule in the Big 12. You're not going to get these cupcake teams. You're getting a legit matchup every single week, and that's why you have a clear path to the college football playoffs. So maybe we don't have to have these conversations anymore in 2 years, but I just think right now there's just, for lack of a better word, there's just no reason not to come out and just absolutely torch this team. There's none.
How confident are you, though, that BYU is truly one of the 10 best teams in the country?
Oh, I'm pretty confident in it. I think when they're their best, I think they have one of the best running backs in the country by anybody's measure. I think Tyler Algier could go and play for Alabama in the SEC, and he'd be just fine. I really, truly believe that. I think he's a powerful back. I think he's a really physical runner. I think he embraces running people over. And I think that's what you need out of your running back. Now, as far as, the other skill positions go, I don't know. I mean, you never really know how good you are until you play literally the best talent the world has to offer. So, any of the wide receivers you look at, would they be as good as they are if they were playing the SEC? I don't know, man. But what I can say is that, I can definitively say I think BYU is a top 10 team. I don't think they're a top 8 team. But I definitely think they're a top 10 team. I think they've earned that, and I think they're there. And I think the problem is not the quality on the field. I think it's optics. I think it's showing people that you're not scared to demoralize teams. I think it's showing people that you're way better than USC is. And at the end of the day, you just need to go out and handle your business. And it really would be unfortunate if they put up, let's say they only put up 40 against Georgia Southern, which I doubt will happen. I think they'll put up a hell of a lot more than that. But let's say they only put up 40. That'd be really unfortunate because that sends the wrong message. That sends the message that you're just kind of good, that you're not like really, really good. So this is the basketball thing. What would we have been talking about if they only won that game by 20 points, let's say, instead of 30 points? Like 30 is a lot heavier than 20. So it matters. But yes, I do think they're a top 10 team. And I do think they're going to just rout Georgia Southern, and I'd love to see them beat USC by 20. However, I have this feeling about the USC game that I think that's going to actually be a tight game. I don't know that they're going to go down there and blow them out.
I think if Jackson Dart truly, if he plays, because, again, not to be redundant here because I just said this a few minutes ago, but Jackson Dart's starting for USC against UCLA. I mean, he is their guy. Is Jackson Dart a guy that is a difference maker? And I think he is. I think when he's 100%, I think what we saw 2 weeks ago, he looked rusty, right? But, I mean, he's coming off of a knee injury with the cartilage repair, so you would expect that. But you would think he's going to play the whole 9 against UCLA. You would think that Jackson Dart would be in much better shape. You would think he'd be much more football ready. Will he be able to run the way he had previously? He didn't, last week. So we'll see about that. But I think it's going to be a nail-biter against SC, and that's why I say, again, it's Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
You got to go do what you got to do against Georgia Southern. And I say have no pity. Have no mercy. Show absolute killer instinct against Georgia Southern because I don't know. I guess maybe this is just my opinion, but I feel pretty passionately that BYU's one of the I think they're one of the top 10 to 15 teams in the country.
Yeah.
They are just on the outside looking in. And my frustration is that you hear all about, oh, well, what about, Cincinnati? Cincinnati has played nobody. They have played nobody. And you can say, well, they beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame's an average team. We've talked about that repeatedly on this show.
Yeah.
Cincinnati has not proven to me to be any better than BYU is. And yet here they are all the way at the top of the poll. And people just write it off like, hey, it's Cincinnati. Of course they're there.
Yeah, somehow, even though they've never done anything. And I just don't know how that works.
Yeah, I just don't know how, in this moment in time, you can make an argument that BYU is not, and I'm comfortable saying a top 12 team.
I mean, Cincinnati fan is going to say, well, you're saying that BYU's played people. They have 5 P5 wins currently and potentially 6 with USC, but that's the Pac-12. The Pac-12 is not good. That's what Cincinnati fans going to say. And I'm going to say, yeah, but if the Pac-12 is not good, your schedule is not good.
I mean, who have you played?
And so that's my point. At least BYU can say, hey, we've got 5 P5 wins, hopefully 6. So that's all that matters.
I think it's ridiculous at Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's 3rd in the AP poll. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I just
don't know what they're looking at. I mean, other than, I guess, record, but, I just don't, yeah. This is, again, let's not go down the rabbit hole of, the nonsense that is the college football committee. But, I think, for BYU, the cool thing and the crappy thing is that you're BYU, meaning that you have the brand recognition, everybody knows you, you're on ESPN, you've got a ton of visibility. So the great part about that is when you go out and you wreck Georgia Southern, okay, great. Everyone's going to, that's going to be a nationally televised game and everything, and that's going to be awesome. But then, going to USC, I think people are going to say, oh, well, it's BYU. They may struggle against USC because it's USC. So I don't know. That's why I think that's a statement game.
USC might struggle against BYU.
I agree. I think BYU is going to do fine against SC. I think BYU is going to win that game by 10 points. I think they're going to be fine. But I think there are a lot of doubters out there, specifically on the eastern side of the country.
Yeah, we'll see. CJ says Coug fans handing the Pac-12 another loss yesterday. This time from the ladies basketball team. Come on. Anyway, he also says, fine, put 70 on Georgia Southern so we don't have to hear this argument again. But tell me I'm wrong. That's the thing that.
Why are we tired of talking about this? Can I just ask that question? Why are we tired of talking about this? Because would you rather be talking about this, or would you rather be talking about not getting into a New Year's Six? That's my question for BYU fans. Because if you're not in a New Year's Six, it means you're just in another average bowl, and all this work you put in and everything that you went through this year, it wasn't for nothing, but it just doesn't quite feel as good. It doesn't quite feel as worth it. Yeah. So to me, I'm just like, hey, rather than wanting to talk about, well, we're in the Cheez-It Weed Eater Bowl, let's get into a New Year's Six bowl.
Are we not going to get a Waxahachie State?
A Waxahachie State bowl against some rando.
Thank you for rando. That's what I think it comes down to. Where if let's play a little better than game.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say that BYU is not better than Georgia.
No.
Not better than Alabama.
No.
Are they better than Oregon?
I think it's very close.
Are they better than Ohio State? Close.
I think that's close too.
Are they better than Cincinnati?
Yes.
I believe they are. Are they better than Michigan? I believe they are.
Yeah.
Are they better than Michigan State? I don't think so.
That's the one where I'm like, okay, Michigan State has, the loss or whatever, but I think at the end of the day, you are looking at these two teams and you're like, okay, if they battled, how would this play out? And see, this conversation right here is exactly what the committee's doing. They're just going up and down the stack. And you notice, to your point, by the way, I don't think this got pointed out yesterday on the show. Notice BYU didn't move on the bye week. They were not penalized, and you said I had some concerns about it, but you yourself said, hey, they're not going to be penalized for the bye week.
No.
And they weren't. So they stayed right at 14. And so, okay, so let's keep going down the list here. No, I don't think they're better than Michigan State.
Michigan State, with the way Kenneth Walker is playing, I think Michigan State, I would give Michigan State the edge. I just think that they're a big, I mean, they're very good.
They're well coached.
They're going to put up 200 yards on you. And, yeah, Mel Tucker's about to get paid.
Yeah, and he deserves that.
Holy cow, he's going to get paid.
Yeah.
And see, this is the one that's going to probably be controversial. Notre Dame.
They're better than Notre Dame.
I would agree with that because I think I look at the way that BYU handled Virginia.
Yeah.
And having watched most of the Virginia Notre Dame game, I'm just telling you that, look, with all due respect, Jack Cohn's a nice little quarterback, but that's the extent of it. I mean, if this team doesn't run, they threw for 174 yards on Virginia.
Sorry, folks, that's what it is.
174 yards. Now, they ran for 249, and you're not going to lose a whole lot of football games where you run for 249 yards. And I think you saw that, when you have backup quarterbacks playing for Virginia, they're not nearly as good.
Yeah, and I think the other thing, too, and this is what I think nobody talks about with BYU, when BYU wants to road grade you, they have that ability. Like, they don't do it all the time, but you'll notice that because you have Tyler Algier back there, if you were to formulate a game plan against Notre Dame, it would be predicated off of the run. You would want to run Notre Dame over, and then you'd want to get the passing game going. Because, again, just like you were saying, when BYU gets to 200 yards, just like when Notre Dame got to 250 or whatever it was, you're going to win that game. It's over.
It's over. I think BYU's better than Notre Dame this year.
I agree.
I think on an annual basis, Notre Dame should be better than BYU.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that changes if Kalani can get a higher level of line play and line recruit, going into the Big 12. We'll see how that all plays out because that ultimately that's been the difference with Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame comes to mind. The bigger physical teams, Utah, for a lot of these years, where before BYU won this year, it was because Utah was bigger and more physical up front than BYU. Going into the Big 12, you would think that you would be consistently bigger and that your grocery bill would go up because your linemen would be beefier, right?
Yeah.
I think they're better than Notre Dame. I don't like a team like Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State might be better than BYU. That'd be a hell of a football game. BYU is better than Wake Forest. I think, you look at number 11, there's Baylor sitting there. I don't know. Jaron Hall was not 100% against Baylor.
They're just as good as Baylor. They're not better. I think BYU didn't have their best when they played Baylor, and I think they paid the price for that,
Ole Miss. Ole Miss is interesting. Ole Miss finally has athletes. Well, yeah. I don't put a lot into whether in the SEC they're better than everybody else, but I look at Ole Miss. I like the way they play football. Lane Kiffin's an innovator. They have athletes. I look at Oklahoma. I don't know what Oklahoma is. We're going to find out over the next 2 weeks because Oklahoma's got Iowa State and then Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
And they're coming off of a bad loss at Baylor. So let's find out who Lincoln Riley is. Right? I mean, and that Oklahoma State game, Bedlam, is in Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I think
in
so.
Stillwater.
I think BYU is just as good as most of these teams, and they're definitely
So do I.
they're definitely better than some of these teams.
So do I.
I think the thing that the factor that's not on BYU's side is what have you done reputationally speaking the last couple of years? You know what, so like Alabama, Ohio State, Oregon, these teams that are in the conversation every year are going to get a little bit more of a nod, in my opinion, just naturally than BYU would. Now, again, we're talking about teams that are top 5 teams in the country, so there's that as well. But,
and then the I'm hesitating.
Did we get a San Diego State reference yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm hesitating to bring this next point up.
JIMMER?
No. Just, why?
Shout to Obama.
Why? Okay, I mean, I'll just bail out by saying it. The East Coast bias that exists in major college football. I don't know. I wonder how much the Boise loss is going to hurt you, because not very many people saw that game. So you're either on one side of the line or the other. Well, not very many people saw that game, and you just had an off week. Regional rivalry, but it's Boise. Or is it, well, if you were any good, you'd beat Boise. That's the question.
I think it's the latter.
Because nobody saw that game. They're going to read box scores. They're going to see the turnovers. But and this goes, and I know, BYU fan, take it easy. I know this is where it comes into, well, what did they do against their lesser opponents?
Whatever.
Right? And when you look at the schedule and you see back-to-back losses and then back-to-back wins against Washington State and Virginia, I could make the case BYU plays down to their opponent.
Yeah.
Okay. But then what do you say about Idaho State in 59-14? What do you say about, Georgia Southern, they only scored 35, and because nobody's watching BYU and Georgia Southern.
What?
Nobody's watching that game. I'm just
There's
telling
not better
you now.
things on TV?
I'm just telling you now. The problem is that's a 2:00 game, which means 4:00 on the East Coast, and there are a ton of games this weekend at that time. And I'm telling you right now that people are just going to look up and down your schedule, and they're going to say, wow, look at that. They beat Virginia by scoring 66. They scored 59 on Idaho State. And look at that. They put up a 70 spot against Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
And let's pretend that you scored 35 and you beat USC. You're a top 10 team. In my opinion, you're a top 10 team. And I'm telling you right now, look at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's going to play Georgia Tech. There's going to be a ton of people watching that game.
Yeah.
Because they're 8th in the country.
By the way, this game is only on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, it's not on TV.
It's not on TV.
So you look at the fact that you have Michigan State and Ohio State in the morning, which is probably the game of the day, right? And as you go up and down the schedule as it gets later, Alabama, Arkansas, that's at 1:30. You kick off at 2.
Yeah. I mean, it's no secret nobody's watching that game. Come on.
But that's my point.
That's why you got to put up 7.
If you're on the committee, and you're putting your rankings together this week, and you got to figure out, well, hey, Ohio State and Michigan State, and Ohio State's probably going to win that game.
Yep.
Ohio State, I think, is favored by 20. Ohio State, Michigan State at the shoe. Let's surmise Ohio State wins that game. Now Michigan State has 2 losses. How far do they fall?
Not outside the top 10.
They'll be outside the top 10. You're 7th in the rankings now. You're 7th in the rankings now. You lose 2 in a row, you're done. You're out of the top 10. My guess is, and this is the same thing for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oklahoma has to win, and they got to do it impressively, right? You look at the fact that you would have lost 2 of 3. You lost at Purdue. You beat Maryland, who sucks out loud. And then you go to the shoe, and you lose to Ohio State. You're probably 12th, 13th. You're gonna plummet. And what does that mean for BYU? Okay, bump them up. They're 13th at least. They're moving up a spot.
Yeah.
Because they're going to beat Georgia Southern. Put a 70 spot up, right? I look at Notre Dame. That could happen. By the way, I also look at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is 8-2. Ole Miss has zero room for error against Vandy and Mississippi State. Zero room
can't lose
for
that
error.
game.
Zero, right? I'm telling you, BYU has a path to the top 10. Score 70 points against Georgia Southern.
Yeah, don't be nice.
Don't make friends. Don't go there to be like, hey man, really appreciate this. No, we're kicking your ass. It's not personal, it's business.
Yep.
So that's what I would say. All right, let's get some more comments because there's a lot of you y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Chris Karn. He says, hello, boys. I love Cheez-Its. What's your favorite cracker?
Oh, dude. Come on.
My wife is a cracker person. Like,
Crackaholic.
No, there's too many sex and drugs references in there for me.
Okay, understood.
But my wife is a cracker person.
Okay.
She loves her some Cheez-Its, man.
Cheez-Its are bomb. Yeah.
But
my favorite cracker. Wow. I mean,
That's tough.
that is not an easy question to answer.
I don't know that I have a favorite cracker, but Ritz crackers are
Ritz
awfully
with
tough
peanut
to
butter
beat.
on it is insanely hard to beat, dude.
Do you know how many calories are in peanut butter? I had true story.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about this a little bit towards the end of the show. Like, I've been struggling with appetite. Like, I haven't been real hungry lately.
Yeah.
So yesterday morning, like I wanted to pour my usual bowl of high fiber cereal, which I love. I was going to chop a banana. Like all morning long, I was thinking about it. Man, I'm starving. I'm going to have some cereal and a banana.
Yeah.
A little bit of toast. It's going to be good.
A little bit of butter spray on that toast.
I'm going to drop an intestinal bomb later in the day because of it.
Yep,
everything was good.
Yep.
But you get up there and up in the kitchen, and I'm like, man, I think I'm just going to have toast. I know I need to eat my grains. I know I need I'm not hungry. I had peanut butter toast yesterday for breakfast.
Oh.
Do not underestimate the greatness of peanut butter toast.
Facts.
Dude, it's so good.
Oh, I'm a huge toast guy to begin with. And I don't eat white bread because white bread essentially is every slice of white bread is the equivalent of a tablespoon of sugar. I don't eat it. We eat Dave's Killer Bread.
And it's good bread.
In either the seeded or the rye. My wife is
Power seed.
Mrs. Monty, honey, has me all hooked up on this Dave's Killer rye bread.
Yeah.
It's spectacular. I love it. So I really enjoy eating that bread. But I had a toast, put it in the toaster oven, 5 minutes, like shade 27.
Yeah, so do you like your toast like really, really dark, or
No.
are you more of like a...
I like it just firm.
Just firm, okay.
Firm.
Okay.
So good. Okay, I'll stop. Chris Carnes says, love Cheez-Its. My favorite cracker is Ritz. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Yeah.
Giggity says, that loss to Boise State is a big blemish to East Coasters who only look at standings and schedules. Yeah, it is. I think so. That's why you need 70 against Georgia Southern. Rectangle says, take a picture that I'm subscribed and tagged you both, but I didn't get any response. Just to make sure I'm in the lotto. Do you tag us? Where'd you tag us? Neville93 says, I hate football and stressful. Good morning, guys. Jared Butler hit a 30 yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
We're
we're about to talk
about
about Jared Butler in a minute.
Okay, wait. Triangle, what was your name now?
Yeah, Triangle, what's your name on social? Because we get a lot of them.
We got a couple yesterday. I responded to Jeremy.
Yeah, I just don't know your name there, kid.
Yeah.
Greg Hawkins says, good to see you again, everybody. Greg, appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here. Watching the last Georgia Southern game on YouTube, they have a true freshman quarterback and makes throws that our guys will feast on. Chaz is back, so let him Cobra Kai and ball hawk this game. Do it.
Yeah, and see, that's my point. See, this is my point. Like, you have... There's no question that BYU is better. That's not even in doubt. It's just only a question of just how much are you going to win the game by? And I don't want to see, oh, well, we're up 35-3 in the first half. Well, time for the backups to come in. Time for the backups to come in. Is this finally Jacob Conover's chance to actually see some green? I don't want to see that, dude. Keep the starters in till 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Rack it up.
Yeah. Snuka says, good morning, y'all. Shanghai Sharks in the building. You guys are pushing your luck now.
Yes.
Shout them Obama.
Yes,
No.
dude. Yes.
Mark 52587 says, I'd love to hear that argument about not losing to Boise State from Oklahoma.
For real.
Well, expectations are different, are they not? Perception's reality. Oklahoma is a national power with a legacy program. BYU is not. BYU is viewed as the Mormons that happen to play football.
Yeah.
Right? So BYU is not respected on the level that Oklahoma is. So expectations are different. Oklahoma loses to Boise State. Boise State.
Boise.
It's a big deal. BYU loses to Boise State. It's disappointing, right? Greg Hawkins says, which is BYU's best win this year so far? Well, I mean, if you ask a BYU fan, it's without question Utah. But I think if you look up and down the schedule, that Virginia win looks very nice.
Yeah.
66 on Virginia is great. Arizona State's a nice win. I mean, they're contending for the South, even though Utah's going to wrap that up after they kick the crap out of Oregon this weekend. You know, it is what it is. I said,
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, Daryl says Bronco, Greg. Yeah, a lot of people. Tanner Plummer says easy, Utah. Mind Axiom says Utah is BYU's best win. He also says BYU has 2 losses, though. A 2-loss Michigan State is above BYU and Baylor, in my opinion. Well, the funny thing is Michigan State doesn't get a lot of respect as a football program. And, you know, I think when you see that Michigan's ranked ahead of Michigan State, that tells you all you need to know.
It's not great.
You know, I mean, head-to-head doesn't mean a thing. Your losses don't mean a thing. If you're a 3-loss team, you're not getting in.
Yeah.
If you're a 2-loss team and you know, you want to be a New Year's 6 contender, yeah, you're in. Now, is BYU going to the college football playoff? Probably not. Probably not. Definitely not. Timon Scott says Ritz are the undisputed champs. I think Ritz are very, unrespected. Snuka says chicken and a biscuit. Oh, Mrs. Monty loves her some chicken and a biscuit. Loves it. Did you guys see we already canceling games for the Big 12 in 2024? We canceled the UNLV game at the Raiders Stadium. Cool. I would assume that would have to happen, right? I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Steve Peterson says, excuse me, but we won an NC. Yeah, in like 1941. Greg Hawkins says BYU has a good reputation, but few who aren't LDS want to go there. Well, and it's a very tough academic institution. It's not being a student at BYU is not easy. The standard is incredibly high. You know, and everybody's like, wow, but they're not a research institution. Can't have them in our conference.
Right.
Well, I mean, BYU's a hell of an academic institution. It is. And it's not easy to get in, by the way. It is not easy to get in. CJ says more people can see it on ESPN Plus than the Pac-12 network, Chris Carnes.
Agreed.
Right, that's not anyway.
Hey,
no.
Hey, listen, man, you might not like it, but that's absolutely the truth. That is absolutely 100% the truth.
Right, but why is it always about the Pac-12? Who cares? Why is it I get worn out. And BYU fan, I don't understand why you have this obsession trying to rimrock Utah.
Okay.
I don't understand it.
Can you describe what rim rocking is, please?
Anyway, I don't understand why. Stop it. I don't understand why there is this upset. You beat Utah. You're dominating the state of Utah. Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
I just don't think that's in BYU fans' blood. I don't think that they'll ever let it go. I really don't.
That's probably true. CJ says, Chris keeps saying it should be on the Pac-12. Calm down. What should be on the Pac-12? Maybe the BYU game can get picked up by the Pac-12 network this weekend so no one can see it. Well,
see what I mean? They're not going to let it go.
BYU fans like playing disgruntled little brother. They do.
They do. They love it.
They do that. And you know, not for nothing, and I'm not hating. It's just facts. BYU fans like being the victim.
Facts.
And I'm just telling you, it's not. You know, what shoes are you guys wearing today? Well, it's funny you ask. I've got them Air Jordan 3 Pines on. Mrs. Monty's brand new Air Jordan 1 is on the wall, which is nice. What are you wearing over there, scumbag?
AJ1 Lows.
What colorway?
The pink and black.
Oh, those are fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, usually Jordans. Your mom should be on the Pac-12, Steve Peterson says.
Facts.
Your mom should be on the Pac-12. Okay. Eric C says, morning, guys. I'm late to the show. Go Aztecs. No, he didn't.
See.
He didn't say the Go Aztecs part. I threw that in there.
Oh, okay.
At least the Pac-12 network is broadcasting games above 480p. There's a shot at ESPN. Yeah, that ESPN thing, and if you didn't see it, ESPN isn't exactly using state-of-the-art equipment for the Pac-12 games. So, yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Pac-12 games, let's talk about the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
By the way, wait, speaking of Pac-12 games legitimately, all right, have you changed your mind, Utah or Oregon here? I think whoever runs the ball better wins the game because when Oregon, drops 200 yards on the ground, they don't lose.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I agree. I think that goes for any team. My biggest thing is that I just have this feeling that the Utah defense is going to make some things happen. I just feel like they're going to force some turnovers. Oregon's going to make a mistake. That's what I think is going to happen. So that's why I lean Utah.
Well, look, the game is here in Sac Lake City.
And
so
by the way,
I said
Sac Lake City, right? Sac Lake City, right? Right.
Sac Lake City, man.
And also, I feel like Utah as a program has more to play for internally. They're playing for their teammates. They're playing for everything that's happened this year. They have a lot of passion behind them still. So I don't know. Something's telling me to lean Utah. I know that that's probably not popular, but that's just what I feel.
Oregon's good.
I know. They're really good. And this is going to be a battle. It's going to be a tight game.
I don't know how they've done it, but Utah's turned it around on that offensive line. Tavion Thomas is a stud. And we'll have a full preview of that game tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think this is a touchdown win for Utah. I mean, this is going to be fun.
That's a ballsy call, man.
This is going to be fun. Can Utah's offensive line deal with Kayvon Thibodeau and that defense? Because they're good. They are good. They're going to wear some ugly-ass, terrible uniform.
But it's Nike in Oregon, and it's cool.
I don't know who thought that paint splash uniform thing, that disaster.
It's splatter, please.
That whatever you call that. I don't know what that was, but if you ever bring that back, I swear to God I'll do nothing about it.
Because it's garbage.
Yeah, it's a hot mess. It is that was I know that everybody thinks that, oh my God, it's Oregon. Oh, their uniforms. You see those crow feathers on their helmet.
That's not what we're about.
Dude, your Oregon, your uniforms are not fire. They're not.
They used to be.
That lime green shit that you run out occasionally, I mean.
Is that a Pacific Northwest thing?
No, that's a baby diaper excrement thing. That uniform is terrible.
Butthole.
Yeah, exactly. That uniform is terrible. I don't know, and I'm not even trying to hate. Well, yeah, I am.
Yeah,
but the point is, whoever came up with that needs to be fired. That is bad.
Yeah, dude.
That green, oh my! And again, the paint splatter thing, I get it. I bought them. The Jordan line dropped a bunch of paint splatter stuff, mids and lows. So of course the Ducks, because we see actual duckies, geese, gooses, ducks, ducats
and stuff
and things,
yeah, right,
and stuff,
right,
flying around with paint splatter on their feathers all the time. That's normal.
Whoever came up with that shit needed
right?
to be fired.
Right. I mean
it's normal.
I mean, paint splatter on a football uniform makes perfect sense. We play under a scaffold, right? Fucking idiots.
You want to explain that?
Anyway,
do you feel better?
I hate Oregon. I hate everything about Oregon. They poured beer on my mom. I hate Oregon. I feel very Max Hall right there.
Whatever.
I hate Oregon.
That's offensive.
I have a high level of dislike for them.
There you go.
The only people in the Northwest I hate more are Nick Rolovich and his family. Anyway, the point is.
Butthole.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Good. Okay, good.
I cannot stand Oregon.
I know. I know.
I just can't. And by the way, if you're a Utah fan or a BYU fan, you better hope Utah wins, because what does that do? Well, that helps your strength of schedule. Bummer. Yeah, you're a Utah fan this weekend, BYU fan.
Yep.
Go Utah this weekend. It would knock the Pac-12 out of the college football playoff conversation. Wow. Chris Karn being all cheery and stuff. Daryl says, what happens when with the rankings if the Utes win? I don't know. That'd be interesting, because there's a lot of folks that really like Oregon. Like they get a lot of love in the rankings. I mean, if you think about it, what is Oregon? Third in the college
Third or
football?
fourth. Yeah.
Third. They're third. Oh my God, they're above Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They must be really good, because Cincinnati, no, I'm not doing it. All right, let's switch gears and talk NBA.
Yeah.
Jazz Raptors tonight at the Viv.
Raptors.
Anybody notice Jared Butler scored 71 points and hit a game-winning shot for the Jazz? And he's our starting point guard now, and he's not. And he can't even break Quin Snyder's lineup, and yet he goes down to the G League, plays for the Stars, scores 30, and hits a game-winning shot.
Yep.
Can't even get meaningful minutes. Can't even – like, he's on the Udoka Azubuike minutes plan. Like, it's not good.
Minutes plan.
It's not, right? It's not good. It's not good at all for Jared Butler.
Yeah.
So what's the problem? Is it Jared Butler, or is it everyone's favorite head coach, Quin Snyder?
Yeah, I think it's everyone's favorite head coach, Quin Snyder. I think Quin Snyder's stubborn about it. I think Quin is he doesn't like to take risks. He doesn't like to play young guys. He doesn't like, and I think especially when the Jazz as a team have been struggling a little bit of late. What are you 2-6, I think, in your last 8 or whatever it is. Like, you had lost 4 or 5 going in the Philly game. You blew Philly out. So like, you're back in the win column, but as a team, you've just been struggling a bit. And I think that Quin, doesn't want to play the young guys when this team is struggling. And my whole thought is, hey, this team is not going to be the same team once the playoffs get here. You're going to have new faces, different guys. So why are we loyal to, the starting 7 guys? What's going to happen if Mike Conley gets hurt? Or you're just going to expect Jared Butler to roll out onto the floor and be good to go? That's my biggest thing. I don't want, like, this Jazz team is in a good spot. Yes, they need to start playing better. They've got things they got to work on, but they're still a good basketball team. My thought headed into the season was, okay, you're pretty much the same team, but let's focus on building the depth, lengthening out the bench a little bit. And Jared Butler is a huge part of that, and it just hasn't happened.
And this is the thing that worries me, is that, okay, the G League's not great, right? I think we all can agree that, listen, the NBA G League is what it is. You don't go down there and score 30 and hit a game winner if you can't play in the NBA. Like, you know it when you see it, and then he gave you 6 boards, 4 dimes, 2 steals. Come on. Who are we kidding?
Yeah.
Udoka Azubuike, what have I always said? Not an NBA player, right? 6 points, 10 boards last night.
How many minutes?
That's a G League player, right? 34 minutes.
Yeah, so he played a good portion of the game.
Yeah, he's a G League player. He's not an NBA player. I look at Elijah Hughes, 25 minutes, 17 points, 2 dimes, 2 boards. Right? Like, 5 of 8 from 3.
Yeah.
The guy's an NBA bench player. Jared Butler is a legit NBA point guard who needs minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, this was not a fluke. And if you look at the names that played last night, by the way, Zaire Wade played 7 minutes and scored no points. And it's not like they did this to just any old team. This is a Santa Cruz Warriors team that's really good. I mean, Jeff, they have a guy named Jeff Doughton who's really good. Quindary Witherspoon's on that team.
First of all, that's an amazing name.
What?
Quindary Witherspoon.
Yeah, he's a guy they like a lot. Axel Topain's on that team. Like the Santa Cruz Warriors have a talented team, and Jared Butler beat them at the buzzer last night.
Yeah.
That's not an accident. The guy can play, and I just don't understand why Quin Snyder won't give him some run.
Yeah.
Right? Like it makes me crazy.
Yeah. And again,
I don't get it.
I it's not just because I think Jared is some amazing player. I'm genuinely just kind of concerned about the idea of, all right, the midseason is going to get here, and what if Don gets hurt? Or like the what if game is terrifying when you're not playing this guy at all. I'm not saying he needs 20 minutes a night. I'm saying like
That's right.
like 10, 12 minutes a night, like playing with the second unit, that kind of setup. But 5 minutes a night is just not enough to develop somebody.
It makes me crazy.
Yeah.
It absolutely makes me crazy. And again, the G League is full of guys who just can't do it at the NBA. The JIMMER is a great example of that, right? And then he goes over to the Shanghai Sharks and, becomes a legend.
Yep.
But you look at the way I'm telling, just give Jared Butler 10, 12 minutes a night, every night, like it's your job.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it is your job.
Yeah.
Play him 10, 12 minutes a night, develop him, let him screw everything up, right? Like, he's going to accidentally score 20 points. He's going to accidentally get you, you're going to see, you play him 10, 12 minutes, that's going to turn into 15, 17 minutes. He's going to have a 10-dime night. That's just going to happen. And then Mike Conley, because water's wet and Mike Conley's hurt, Mike Conley's going to miss some time. And if Mike Conley misses time right now, you really want to rely on Jingles?
No.
Are we going back to point Jingles?
Not with what we've seen.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
I'm with you.
Look at that. Horatio Hornblower. Jimmer lit up the G League and couldn't stay on a roster. Truth.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. I've discovered your show here in Norway. Really enjoy your take on the local college football scene. Thanks, Norge Coug.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you being here, bud. Take out Joe and O'Neal, Neville says. Being Butler and get
Hello.
D-linered? Okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure who D-linered is, but
The D.
do you mean Dame Lillard? Whatever. It is. I agree with you. I think you need to take minutes away from Joe Ingles. You have to reduce his load right now. You have to. He just is not playing quality basketball, and he deserves better.
Yep.
So help him help himself. Tanner says it's a crime that Butler isn't playing. I just don't know how you explain it.
I don't know. I don't know. My biggest issue is I don't know what the logic is. I don't know what the strategy is. Is the strategy, just that he's a young guy so he doesn't get minutes? Is that as archaic as your strategy is with the young guys? I mean, that's my biggest thing.
Well, I mean, he looked fine in the preseason. He hasn't looked great when they've put him in there, but I think you're gripping a little bit. When
you would expect that. He's a young guy.
When you know that you have to be really good or you're not going to play, you usually don't play really well.
Yeah.
You don't. So, James Knight says Quinn shouldn't just gift minutes for the hell of it. Butler hasn't shown much on the limited minutes he's had. He hasn't. You're right. That's true. The Blind Sportsman says, morning, boys. Why can't Quinn play Jared Butler? Because he won't. It's a trust thing.
I disagree with the gifting minutes thing. I got to be honest with you. I don't think that. So let's remember, Jared Butler is a guy who did some pretty awesome things in college. He dominated that level. He comes to your team. Yes, has he produced at a high level in the minutes you've given him? No, he hasn't. But at the same time, you're not asking him to be Donovan Mitchell. And I think it's unfair to say, well, Quinn shouldn't gift him minutes because, well, he hasn't shown anything. Well, no, of course he hasn't shown anything. Has Cade Cunningham shown you anything? Really? Like for where he was drafted? Not really. He's shown you some defense, but he hasn't really lived up to it yet. Look around. Did Steph Curry show you something when you drafted him? No, he didn't. It took time to grow that, right? So that's why I say you look at the best team in the league right now in the Golden State Warriors, and again, they are the model for home growing a championship. It takes time. Now, you don't have that time, and that's why I'm saying don't play the guy 20 minutes a night. But 10 minutes a night is not an unrealistic ask. Just get the guy the ball, have him walk it up the floor, and get you into your offense. I don't think that that's too much to ask.
I don't either. And I think these are really valuable minutes. Every time Jared Butler plays in the G League, he's got to do what he did last night.
Yeah.
He's got to be a big boy. So we'll see. What do you expect out of Toronto tonight? Obviously, the Raptors are not world beaters. They are certainly not the championship caliber ball club that we are. They're 7-8. They're 5-2 on the road. They're playing decent basketball. What do you expect?
I expect them to play decent defense, but at the end of the day, this is a game that the Jazz should win. Just outright. The Jazz should win this game. It should be a 10-point victory. Like, this should be a comfortable win. The only question is going to be, how do the Jazz shoot the ball? And I know we say that every time, but that is ultimately what gets this team going. When the three is dropping, they're in a great place.
Well, somebody other than Don's going to have to do it tonight.
Yeah.
Because Gary Trent Jr. is coming for that A. He is.
Did you say that A?
That A. Gary Trent Jr. is just incredible on-ball defender.
Yeah.
He is really, really good. And they're getting offense. I mean, their problem's not offense. Mm-hmm. Their problem is they give up too many points.
You notice that's a trend in the league this year. Defense.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And, frankly, their bench doesn't give them very much. But I think when you look at the Siakams and the Anunobis and, obviously Fred VanVleet, they're going to get in the paint tonight.
I wouldn't be surprised. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if they played with Rudy a lot. If they, got into it with him, tried to muddy this game up. They're a veteran team. This is not a team that's going to be shook. This is not a team that's going to get awry. This isn't a team that is going to, be scared of the Jazz at all. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see Siakam getting into it with Rudy. I wouldn't. I think that it is a strategy that is beginning to really become popular against the Jazz across the league. And, I just think that if you're prepared, you know how to handle it. And it takes the Jazz off their game.
And again, this is a Bulls conversation as well.
Yeah.
Because the Raptors love to play small ball.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be able to do that. They don't have a traditional center on their – I mean, Birch, but he's not a guy you worry about.
No, Siakam's the one that's going to be playing Rudy tonight. And I think that the question is simply going to be, because when you play small ball, you're obviously trading off, right? So you're not going to play big, but you're also going to be better offensively for that. So when you see how that plays out, that's why I say the question is going to be, is the three falling for the Jazz? Because the Raptors are always going to get back in defense. The Jazz choose not to give it to Rudy, even though he's going to have a mismatch.
Yes.
And so they're going to be shooting a lot of threes tonight. And so are the threes falling? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think this will be an interesting matchup. The Jazz should handle this game.
Yeah,
I mean,
no doubt about it. I mean, like I said, this should be a 10 to 15 point win, in my opinion. That's what this should be.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, this should not be a big deal.
Yeah.
But
I'd like to see them. I'm tired of watching this Jazz team meddle and fool around with teams. I want to see them come out, establish themselves early, build a 10-point lead in the first 8-9 minutes, and take control, lead this game coast to coast. Yeah,
we'll see. I mean, it'll be interesting to see who plays and who doesn't for Toronto because they've got some injuries as well. But I would expect a pretty significant win. For the Jazz tonight. I would expect a significant win. I would think. It's called development. If Brandon Whiteside says, if he does ever play, he will not develop as fast. G League time is great, but big stage minutes are better for development. I agree with that.
That's all we're saying. 10, 12 minutes a night.
Mind Axiom says he played Don his rookie year, and I think it was a pivotal for his development. I don't get not playing Butler either. James Knight says, let's look at the rotational players, Ingles, Clarkson, Pascal, Whiteside, not to mention Rudy Gay. So good luck getting minutes if you're a rookie on this roster. Well,
yeah, but here's the thing. You're not accounting for the fact that the nights that Conley sits, Butler's still not playing.
Yeah, on the back-to-back nights, Butler's not in the lineup. And I think you also have to look at the fact that Joe Ingles has to play less minutes.
Yeah.
I think if you look at, Pascal and Whiteside have no impact on how many minutes Jared Butler plays. None. Zero. I think when you look at, does Rudy Gay make his debut tonight?
Hope so.
And what do you get from him? That's the bigger question. You would think that you would get, a touch of three-point shooting. I would hope that you would get a bit of mid-range.
And rebounding.
You know, like, yeah, and I mean, defense and rebounding, he's going to have to, or he's not going to play many minutes on this team.
Yeah.
You know, I just think it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Monty, when you read Horatio's comment, you said Jimmer's name. Yeah, I know. You know, it happens.
It's a cardinal
once in a while.
sin, man. It's
You know?
a cardinal sin.
You know, it's like a shard. It happens once in a while. It's
Yeah.
part of the game.
Butthole.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Let's talk about The Rock, because we got to get to The Rock and the best breakfast sandwich in fast food.
Okay.
The Rock wants to be the next James Bond.
What do you bench?
Yeah, you know, like 900 pounds worth of steroids. Yes or no on The Rock being James Bond?
Hell no. Hell no.
Are you racist because he's
No,
black? You don't
I'm
want
not.
You don't want The Rock?
I'm not. I think that
Because that's the conversation online.
So James Bond, I mean, yeah, there's no question that James Bond has always been a white male and has always been portrayed, you know, well, at least for my generation, I can't say always, but at least for my generation, as a European guy. That's what I know James Bond to be. And I think the problem for me is less about The Rock's skin color and more about the fact that The Rock, that I don't say James Bond and then put The Rock there. The Rock is more like Disney stuff, like higher energy stuff, like, you know, like he that's just not. James Bond is so far out of what he usually does. That's my thing. Would he be bad as James Bond? Well, no, I don't think he'd be bad. I think he'd do a fine job. I think he's a great actor. I think frankly, I think he's a phenomenal Hollywood talent overall. I mean, you're talking about a guy who not only can act on screen, you're talking about a guy who can voice over Disney movies, like all kinds of stuff, man. I mean, the guy is versatile. So he's super talented. The thing for me is I just feel like, okay, we just got the last Daniel Craig James Bond movie.
Right.
You're at a pivotal point in the series. The next James Bond is going to be a 10-year commitment. So it's not just one James Bond movie we're getting if The Rock were to do that.
No.
It's like 4. And I don't want that. I don't see The Rock in being a great fit for James Bond. But that's just me. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to add up to me.
Tom Hardy's my guy. You know, he's the guy that...
Where has he been? Like, where has Tom Hardy been?
He's living a pretty good life, man. I mean...
Well, yeah, I'm sure he has, but I don't care about that. I want him
Yeah.
in movies. Like, I'm sure he is living a great life.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's time. I think it's some point. You know, Idris Elba is another guy that I think has said he really would like to be the next James Bond.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy's the guy. I mean, he is, to me... I mean, he is a natural fit. He is a natural fit. You know, I think it is. He's about to release a new movie, by the way, the new Venom movie coming out.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah.
What?
It's not my flavor. Venom, that's not really my thing.
Yeah, I've never seen a Venom movie.
Me either. You know, I'm sure they're fun, but it's just not my jam. It's not my thing.
Yeah, and then I don't know how to pronounce it. You never saw Bridgerton, right?
I don't think so. no.
Bridgerton's a hell of a series. Man, if you ever get another girlfriend, which I don't think is a certainty.
That's probably not going to happen.
You
so-
should ask her, hey, would you spend today watching Bridgerton with me?
We're getting somewhere.
It will be all the sex you can handle.
Yeah.
Reg Jean Page.
Hey, Reg.
Reg Jean Page, whatever the hell his name is. He and Tom Hardy are the odds-on favorites to be the next Bond.
Yeah, I think Tom Hardy would be a solid fit. I mean, I'm a big Tom Hardy guy. You know,
That's my dude.
I think Tom Hardy. I want more Tom Hardy Inception movies. That's what I want. I want more of Tom Hardy in those kind of roles. He was a badass in Inception. Like that's what we need.
Yeah, we'll see.
But no, The Rock is James Bond. No, I just can't. No, I'm good. No.
Yeah, we'll see. James Bond can't call people candy asses, Fat Jesus says. Well, I just, you know what? The Rock is an inspiration. I get it. He's, the wrestling thing, all that, but he just isn't James Bond to me.
He's Fast and Furious.
Yeah, he is a goofball.
Yes.
He is a caricature. When I think about Bond, I need stoic, I need classy, I need
elegant.
And that's not The Rock.
Yeah.
That's
With
Tom
all
Hardy.
due respect.
That's Tom Hardy for sure.
Yeah.
Greg Hawkins says, what about Dane Cook as Bond? Oh, my God. That would be amazing. The Big Magamba says, The Rock as Bond would be like calling Taco Bell real Mexican food. Sure, it's got its place, but it ain't. Cooper Royal says, Bojan Bogdanovic or Ben Simmons for the next Bond. Oh, I might have misread that. He said, trade Bojan for Ben Simmons.
Okay.
I'm
not doing that.
I want no part of Ben Simmons on this team.
No,
None. James Knight said, I think it may be an advantage to be drafted by a bad team when it comes to significantly more minutes.
Agreed.
I'd agree with that.
Colin Sexton.
Josh Giddey at OKC. Yeah. Another
exactly.
Aussie. Same. Okay. Josh Shivers, Chivers.
Yeah. Shivers.
Says the Jazz medical staff are being way overcautious because of Butler's heart condition. Well, if they were being overcautious, they wouldn't let him play.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be in the G League. I've heard this a lot. Snyder is afraid he will collapse, even though Butler has never had any symptoms and played 30 minutes a game in college. He says the same staff that held Mitchell out of the first round of the playoffs. Well, they didn't hold him out of the first round of the playoffs. They held him out of the first game of the playoffs. And lo and behold, it turned out the medical staff was right.
Yeah.
Because he re-injured the ankle. So they were right to be cautious with him.
But
the heart thing is not an issue for Jared Butler.
That's just not.
Until it is, it's not. That's what I would say. Greg Hawkins says, go Hawks.
Greg, you're
Go Hawks.
All right. Speaking of aroused, let's talk about the best breakfast sandwich in fast food.
Yeah.
Today is a monumental day.
It's very important.
It is a big day in our lives.
Yeah.
And it's a day that, frankly, you need to celebrate and embrace with all of your cellulite.
Right. Okay. Uh-huh.
Because today is the 50th anniversary of the Egg McMuffin. 50 years old. It debuted for McD's Nuts, McDonald's. When you were a kid, how often did you eat at McDonald's?
2-3 times a week.
I vividly remember my dad taking us to McDonald's in his Nova.
McChicken was always my favorite.
Oh, the McDLT. Do you remember it came in like two sides and it was great.
Kids meal.
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggies. Come on.
Chicken nuggies and fries. I loved dipping McDonald's French fries in their chocolate shakes. I mean, now I don't eat there very often, frankly. The only time I eat there usually is in Hawaii when I'm getting an Egg McMuffin.
My favorite food is chicken tendies and fries.
Yes, it is. So I ask, how much do you like Egg McMuffins?
Love them. Really good.
McGriddle or an Egg McMuffin?
McMuffin for sure. Not a big McGriddle guy.
Sausage biscuit with egg or an Egg McMuffin?
I don't like McDonald's biscuits. They're really, really dry.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a big biscuit guy at McDonald's. Now, Chick-fil-A, different story. But McDonald's,
Egg McMuffin or sausage McMuffin with egg?
That's a close one. Depends how I'm feeling. I want a little spicy, I'm going with the sausage. Yeah, I know.
At McDonald's, I don't eat burgers there. I only get breakfast sandwiches.
Uh-huh.
Pretty rarely, about maybe once every couple months. Sausage McMuffin with egg all day.
And cheese.
All day. All day. Best breakfast sandwich in fast food.
I think you got to go with the Chick-fil-A egg and cheese.
Well, are you serious? No. We've hit... See, I think you do this just to mess with me. I think you do this just to piss me off. I'm serious.
Yes,
I'm being serious.
Sausage sandwich from Jack in the Box is probably the best.
It's not
the
close.
problem is it can't be on the list because it's not in Utah.
It's coming.
Okay, well, no, I'm not. No,
I didn't know the question.
Hawks.
Stop. The question wasn't. What's the best breakfast sandwich that's available to you right now in South Jordan, Utah? That wasn't the question. The question was, what's the best breakfast sandwich in fast food? And we all know that when you want good fast food, you go to Jack in the Box.
Yeah,
you might get a side of E. coli with that, but it happens.
I have to admit, there's nothing better than a double cheeseburger at 6 a.m. with fries and a lemonade.
The best breakfast burger is from Carl's Jr., Chance Terry says.
Man, we got a lot of Carl Jr. guys on this show.
A lot. Chris Carnes says the McGriddle, hands down.
Yeah.
It's a matter of, do you like your sweet mixed with your smoky? I personally don't mind the McGriddle. I don't eat it very often. I've had like 2 of them in my life.
Yeah.
Eric C. says, yeah, I love them hotcakes. Haven't tried that Wendy's yet.
So wait.
Ooh, Mind Axiom says, don't sleep on Wendy's new breakfast menu. Had it the other day. Best I've had in a while. Really?
Yeah, well, the Wendy's by our house isn't even open.
They don't open them. They don't open this Wendy's at breakfast because they're understaffed, as we've talked about. James Knight says, what's the biscuit you guys refer to? We don't have it down here. McDonald's has a biscuit breakfast sandwich. Chick-fil-A's got a really good biscuit chicken sandwich for breakfast. Big breakfast with hotcakes at McDonald's is the best, Cam Harrison says. Greg Hawkins says, try sausage McMuffin with egg with some Taco Bell fire sauce.
Okay.
It's legit. Now you're talking Mrs. Monty's language. Now you're talking Mrs. Monty's language. She loves everything spicy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so definitively the best sandwich, yeah, it's probably the extreme sausage sandwich. Other thing you got to talk about with this conversation is the actual size of the sandwich, which I think helps the extreme sausage sandwich. It is bigger than a McMuffin or the biscuit from Chick-fil-A or whatever.
Yeah, proportionally speaking, the cholesterol levels at Jack in the Box are far more.
Yeah, better take your vitamins if you're going to go to Jack in the Box, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, so today the Egg McMuffin at McDonald's, by the way, is 63 cents.
Because that's what the first price was when it first came out 50 years ago.
50-year anniversary today of the Egg McMuffin at McDonald's. So maybe I'll go get a sack. And I'll go get some Egg McMuffins. The point is, maybe I'll go get us some Egg McMuffins after the show today. Yeah. You know, those Gualberto's breakfast burritos are great. Giggity says, F the sandwiches, it's all about the burritos. I'm a big burrito fan.
Oh, for me too. I mean, but I'm not the McDonald's breakfast burrito. I've never had it, and I'm not a big believer in fast food breakfast burritos. I'm talking about like going to a place that does like actual, food, not fast food.
Well, I never thought I would say this, but there was some good that came out of working at that crappy radio station in Scottsdale.
Oh.
We used to go to Filiberto's at 4:30 in the morning. We would get to Filiberto's in
zombies,
Scottsdale.
Bro.
It was terrible. It was the worst life ever. We get to the Filiberto's in Scottsdale, and we would order a breakfast burrito with French fries inside of it, and it was amazing.
So good, dude.
Amazing. But let me get a couple more. Snuka says, chicken McGriddle with egg and cheese, amazing with orange juice. Neville says the Jack in the Box breakfast bowl and the monster biscuit from Carl's Jr.
Bro, maybe we got to try. Maybe we got to give Carl's Jr. one more chance.
I mean, there's one right here in Sojo at the district.
Maybe we have to give him one more chance. Like, everybody's talking about Carl's Jr. on this show. I mean, I've never had Carl's Jr. breakfast. I've only ever had, like, their burgers or whatever. But maybe we got to give him another chance. Maybe I'm judging him too quick.
Yeah, that's after Hawaii.
Well, no, that's after Jack in the Box and Taco Surf in L.A., then Hawaii, then, yeah.
Yeah. Eric C. says, if I'm hungover, I'll eat any fast food breakfast.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Absolutely. Why is no one talking about the hash browns, though? Well, the hash browns, okay.
This is a fair point.
At Chick-fil-A, the hash browns are superior. They're the little, like, tater tots.
Yeah.
Superior.
Do you like that setup over, like, what McDonald's offers?
Yeah, McDonald's offers a greasy hash. Wow, what was that?
A little chills. Yeah, a little chills.
McDonald's offers like a hash brown patty.
Yeah. You like the tot setup better.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Chris Carnes says Carl's Western Burger is good. I just don't eat a lot of fast food, man. Like, I love burgers. I just can't. I occasionally do it. You know, this is an interesting segue to end the show today. Like, I've really been struggling with, appetite, energy. I'm overtraining. There's no doubt about that. We generally lift 6 days a week, and there's a lot of weeks where I don't take any days off. I'll go like 7 straight days. And it's becoming too much. Like, yesterday we were benching, and I could not do 12 reps or 10 reps at 225. I mean, it was a struggle to get the bar off my chest yesterday. Like, you know how you just get to that point? when you've been lifting and training for like 3 straight months now, 6 days a week, where you're against the wall. So I'm not really as hungry as I should be or once was. Like it's just.
Your body's telling you to slow down.
Yeah, I need a break. And
Yeah.
I think mentally the grind at Yelp has been so much this year. And I've had a phenomenal year. I've never made as much money as I've made this year, ever. I've essentially been the top rep in the company for, 4 months this year. I was the number 1 local sales rep. Like, I've been grinding at Yelp. And my brain.
When I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
Yeah, like seriously, my brain is tired. Like last night was this past evening sleeping was the best night of sleep I've had in a month.
Go Hawks.
Yeah, baby. I slept
Honey.
6.5 hours straight through. Did not really wake up. Didn't visit nighttime pee guy.
Yeah.
Laid down at 9:30 and the alarm went off like a thunderbolt at 4:30. And I slept straight through and it was glorious.
I also think the time change thing contributes to it.
The time change is screwing me up.
Like dealing with that.
Yeah.
Like I know that was last week, but I think it has a compounding effect. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I still maintain, and this is, I always tell this story, but like I put my holiday PTO in at the end of October. And when I was doing that, it just dawned on me like, man, dude, like you don't take time off like ever. like you're talking about, like I couldn't believe it. Honestly, I had 240 hours of PTO. Do you know how much PTO that is at like a normal job? That's like an insane amount.
Isn't that 6 weeks?
Something like that. Yeah.
You have 40
It's something
times
like
6.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't have that much. Like it's between sick time and personal time. I'm pretty close to that, but I only took 2 days off this year.
Yeah.
I went camping on a Friday up at Yellowstone. So that was a weekend off, and I don't know what the other day I took off was.
For Mammoth.
Oh, well, yeah, it's not even counting those. Yeah, I took 2 days off to go to Mammoth.
Yeah, I honestly, like, I can't think of another PTO day I took besides the 2 we took for the Mammoth trip. That's it.
Nah. Like, it's crazy.
And so, it's just been this whole thing. Like last week went by super fast, and this week is just
Crawling.
yeah.
Crawling. It's only Thursday, and it feels like next Wednesday. Like, I mean, it is. And the nice thing is, though, I'm about to be off a whole bunch. Monday is my last day for November.
Our last day.
So I'll work Monday. Why are you trying to steal my spotlight?
Because it's our spotlight.
Well, there's only one O in Monty, boys.
That's not the Jake
I'm
show. We
kidding.
get it.
It's a joke. Our last day is Monday.
Yeah.
I'm off until December 6th. After Monday, I won't be back at work until December 6th, which is 2 full weeks. Can't fucking wait.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to work a week and a half in December and be off the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Like, I am so excited not to work. Like it is.
I feel the fatigue thing is real, man. And I'm not sitting here on this show complaining about doing the show, certainly, but I think that the getting up at 4:30 every day thing is, I mean, it definitely adds up.
Greg Hawkins says 6 days is a lot, especially if you're in a consistent deficit. Personally, I keep in between 3 to 4 times a week. Lower the cardio part a bit if I feel fatigued. Yeah, I've been in a calorie deficit probably for 2 months. And I've lost, I'm pushing 20 pounds now that I've lost, but I've gained a ton of muscle.
Yeah.
I cannot believe we talk about awkward things like this all the time. Like from my waist down, the inches that I've lost are incredible. Like my shoulders, pecs, arms, like it's ridiculous. I've never had this much gain before. Never. Like I have just put on a ton of muscle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny. I was putting on, because me and Mrs. Monty are renewing our vows in Maui. So I bought a shirt that has pineapples on it. I can't even say it, but I put it on last night and it actually fits really well. I can't believe it. And it's like, you put on, all I wear every day are black t-shirts. Honestly, I wear a black t-shirt from 4:30 in the morning until 12 o'clock in the afternoon when I put on a sleeveless shirt to go work out. That's my wardrobe every day. And like my T-shirts are even, but like it's at the games have been great, but now I'm like smack up against a wall.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like today's leg day.
The diet thing is weird, dude. Or not the diet thing, the appetite thing. The appetite thing is weird to me. Like, because it's funny, it's not just you going through it. Like, I notice, like, okay, I just don't feel as motivated to eat lately. It's just weird.
Well, the funny thing is, I usually, like yesterday it was chicken. We prepped chicken this week. We slow cooked a bunch of chicken cutlets.
Yeah.
Put a bunch of spice
Which,
and
by the way, was
barbecue sauce.
phenomenal.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah.
And so usually my lunch is chicken, rice with a bag of vegetables. So
Yeah.
like I'll steam a bag of vegetables and usually I just crush that. This week I haven't even I've eaten it half of it. Like it's a real like I have to force it down.
Yeah.
And then like 5 o'clock I get hungry, so I'll eat a protein bar. And I'm drinking, like I drink one protein shake a day, which is Ghost peanut butter protein, and a tablespoon of creatine. And then I'll try to drink 3 of these, which is just water. And that's it. And usually I get about 80 ounces of water every day. And I'll eat a meal and a half, 2 meals. I'll try to be under 2,000 calories. And I think I'm just against the wall. What I need in Hawaii, I'm going to eat really well, but I need to be like 3,500 calories. I need the week in Hawaii, the 2 weeks actually in Hawaii, to be higher calories because I know I'm going to be a lot more active.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be swimming a lot. I know I'm going to be snorkeling a lot, walking a lot, gawking at hot chicks in bikinis a lot.
Go
But
Hawks.
yeah, I'm going to be burning a lot of calories with my eyes.
Yeah.
And the point is,
Yeah.
I just need a reset week.
Yes.
In a week from now, I'll be sleeping in Maui. Don't call me, I'll call you. Gare Bear says, I watched the BYU Oregon game live. It was surreal. Yes, it was.
Ass kicking.
Garen here, man, says, go BYU. Eric C says, man, I got to love Cali and move to Utah. I got to leave Cali and move to Utah to live that baller life. You should.
You should, dude. I love California. I am about that Southern California vibe, but it is so expensive.
Yep. We do live baller lives. We should appreciate that more, probably. Monty living by the motto, get cut, get butt. Yeah, exactly right.
I mean, straight up.
Exactly right.
Straight up.
All right, play the music. I got to run to McDonald's.
Okay.
Are we doing this? Should
Yeah,
I go
hell
get some?
yeah, dude.
Should I go
Are
get
we
some?
doing this? My ass, we're doing this. Hell yeah, we're doing this.
So I should go get some chicken
I want my breakfast.
or not chicken, egg McMuffins.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Egg McMuffins, 63 cents all day. Go knock yourself out. One more show tomorrow, and then we'll do another show on Monday, and then that's it. We're done for November. Hit subscribe. Take a picture you're subscribed. Tag us on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. The Monty Show. That's me. MONTY. The Monty Show. Jake is SLC Supercars at 3,000 subs. And now we're pushing 2,700. We're going to give away this Xbox Series S. That's simple. Let's do it before Christmas. Until tomorrow. Say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.